Hello everyone, welcome to video number 2 of Introduction to my horses. I'm mainly introducing my riding horses. So this is Gladheart Shaniko, or known as Nico. Nico is 5 this year in May, and he is a sensitive little guy. He recently, just last summer, got diagnosed with EPM. And so we treated him, and he was on a mild case of EPM. But last year, he was going walk, trot, canter, under saddle really nicely, and then all of a sudden started bucking. So I ended up treating him for the EPM, and so far, knock on wood, I've had no issues with him. I've had him since he's 6 months old, so we are very close connected. I absolutely adore this horse. He is definitely one of my heart horses. He just has a lot of try, even when he was in pain. I don't even know how long he had the EPM. So the try that he had, even before I got him diagnosed, he could have been in pain that whole time. So for Nico, I am just basically bringing him back. He's kind of on a rehab situation where I kind of do the same things that I did with Obi, but really I do a lot of walk back halts because he'll probably throw it at me today. He likes to throw his haunches to the left, and we are learning our proprioception back. So he's just really trying to figure out how to go about life without hurting. So after I do that, I usually go to the trot, and I let him trot on a long loose rein. And then just recently, we've been chatting about going on the contact again, and just finding that balance. Like Obi, and remember Gladheart Obsidian and Gladheart Shaniko, so they are related by father. Like Obi, he's very goofy, he's playful, he's silly, but he's also kind of on the lazier side, even though he's sensitive. Hey, babies. And I kind of just play in with that, their goofy side, and try to add a little bit of fun to my rides so that they don't get bored. Because once they get bored, they get goofy. And that's how I know I need to do something else. So I'm just going to ask him for the walk. And actually, I probably only have a good 25-30 rides on him just this year. So Obi definitely has more rides than Nico. Even though I've had Nico since he was 6 months old. I started both of them at 3.5. I don't believe in starting them any earlier than 3. For the simple fact of at 3.5, Nico still looked almost like a 2-year-old. And I truly believe that that was due to his EPM. So, there's a lot of talk about EPM, but nobody really talks about like how it affects their muscle degeneration. Some people really don't know that it causes a lot of weight loss and muscle degeneration. This is actually the first year he came out of winter where he looks absolutely stunning. Like, I actually had to lower his grain just a teeny bit. So for him, it's really important that I make sure that he's comfy and he's not agitated and I don't upset him. Today I have my back on track magnetic therapy saddle pad on underneath my saddle blanket because I am riding it's like really early. It's like probably only 7:38ish. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the clock. And it's cold. And when it gets cold, EPM kind of plays a role in that nerve problem. So I noticed that when it gets cold, he gets more apt to want to buck. So today I put the back on track on so that he doesn't feel uncomfy in his back. So here you can kind of see his walk is a little bit lazy, so I'm going to ask him to go forward. And there was nothing there. So with Nico, The one time he bucked me off, I was literally just walking, and I got a little bigger with my leg, and he rocket launched me out of nowhere. It was completely random and very scary. Gave me a fat lip, bloody nose, the whole ordeal. Oop. So Nico kind of rides with the e-brake on. That's what I call it, because he's always almost there. That's a nice walk. He's always almost ready to stop all the time. And I admit that I put brakes on my horses a little too well, but I'd rather them stop than ignore my aids in case we get in a pickle where I might get screwed over. So this is a nice walk. I really like this. So I try to get him walking really forward before I ask for the halt backs because of his e-brake situation. I'm trying to break that habit where every time I sit deep in my seat, he doesn't feel like he has to stop. But that's kind of his go-to because that's how I ask horses to stop. So I'm trying to get him a little bit bigger here. And you'll see that it may just be my brain having a little bit of PTSD of like, if I apply too much leg, am I going to get bucked off? And that's just me being a human. Trainers have fear too. And I fully admit that I have a little bit of anxiety sometimes when I ask him to go forward because it might end in a bronc session. And I'm really starting to get better about not being too worried about it. So you can kind of see that I'm a little bit more bumping with my leg, swinging with his barrel with my leg. So right, left, right, left, right, left. There, good. I'm going to add a halt. And again, he's very sensitive, so I didn't even use any rein there. I just used my seat. And so he's been wanting to just halt and fly backwards. So I'm going to wait for him, and this is perfect. He's just standing. I'm just going to pick up my rein and hope that his hips don't go left. They did a little bit there, but not enough for me to want to correct. There, they went really bad. Good, and I fixed it. Good. Thank you. Let's fix your forelock there. Here you go. So here you can see that he doesn't necessarily just go off my aids right away. And this has kind of been Nico from the get-go. From when I started him, he was a really super easy cold start. Like, it was easy. The only thing that was really tricky was getting him into the canter. He didn't really want to canter, and in my eyes, that was because he was hurting from the EPM. So, I wish last year and the year before that, when I started him, that I knew, because truly, this horse is worth his weight in gold, and I just want to do the best by him and for him because he deserves it. Having a horse when you start him at 6 months old, it's pretty dang cool to be able to be like, yeah, I started it from the ground up, baby up. Wish I could get all mine like that. So when I put him on the contact or touch the contact, you'll see he's very chompy. And good, that was nice. That's mainly due to the fact that he is still learning that the contact means something. And chomping and chewing. So there's the hips going to the left, so I just added left leg. Good. Good. That was even. Nice. Good. So we're just going to change direction. So when a horse is chompy on the bit, I'm not going to throw a noseband on him. I'm not going to throw a flash on him. I ride in nosebands when I ride dressage, so I'm not down. I have to when I show. So I'm not downplaying nosebands, but so there's the e-brake. I'm going to go a little big on him because that wasn't necessary. Okay, so I'm not going to throw stuff on him so that he closes his mouth and stops chomping. That's not who I am as a trainer, and honestly, if you have a noseband and a flash, I'm not going to nag at you about it. I'm not going to be rude. But for my horses, I want them to know that my hand is soft. My hand is there. My hand can get firm if need to, but it's not going to get mean. But my hand is not going to hurt, and it's not going to be rough and rude and mean. We're going to make sure that he understands that going to the contact means you can relax. And he does stop chomping every so often, but sometimes. So there, I was going to ask for the halt, but I didn't ask for it yet. So I'm going to make sure he walks through with that. Because when I ride a dressage test, some point in time this year with him, hopefully, I don't want his e-brake on. That was nice. He just stayed. No, 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 no. Good, that was all right. So, Nico, my horses know how to stand square. And that's a big thing in dressage, right? Like, we want square halts. So his little steps forward, we're trying to get square, but the problem is he kind of likes to park out. And I think that's where, and I'm not trying to blame all the EPM on the training, but I think stretching out really helped him relieve that pressure in his spine. So I'm trying to get him to understand that he doesn't have to stretch out like that. Good boy. And this will be my last back to halt, or halt back. So, okay. So we're getting wiggly for no reason. Just back. There's the hips to the left, so I'm going to fix. And now he's getting a little agitated. So this was going to be my last halt back, but there. And I'm going to give him a cookie because I want him to understand that once he got it, it was good. And I don't want him to think that the wiggling is a bad thing. I want him to learn through that wiggling. Because after he wiggled, he had a nice back. So we're going to try it one more time. I thought that was going to be our last time, but I guess not, Nico. Made other plans. He's like, next time don't say it was going to be the last time or else I'll do it perfect. Ponies, holding you accountable. This is a good walk. Usually throughout the ride, he kind of builds up into getting a little bit more forward. I didn't ride with spurs today. I did put a spur on him. I was kind of scared I was going to be launched to the next county, but I did pretty good. We were good. I'm just going to let him wait here, and then I'm going to ask for the back. Again. It's okay. There. So that reward of the cookie from the last one made this back really nice, and I'm going to give him another one. That was nice. It was nice. I know. It's hard knock life, isn't it? So like I said, it is early in the morning. They're not used to riding this early. So he's kind of I think he's a little sleepy. Nope. Stand up. There you go. So I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt today. I've already rode Obi. He was great. He was fabulous. Yesterday he was a little bit tricky, but today he was awesome. So Nico is now ready for his trot work. And mind you, he is only walk trot. So we won't be doing walk trot canter. Canter will come when I get my round pin panels. And some help on the ground. So here I'm asking for the trot. And he's not giving anything. I'm going to get a little big. Okay, so here I'm going to halt. He tripped there, but that wasn't his fault. Back. That was nice. And get him forward again. That was kind of my reset. Good. So I'm not going to edit any of that out. Obi's video was very edited because I had to handle with Ollie a little bit, but Ollie's not with me today. So this isn't going to be probably any editing, due to the simple nature of, I want you guys to see him from start to finish. So here I'm just letting him have a long loose rein. I never put my horses on the contact before we warm up at the trot, at least. And this is an okay trot. And he has a couple sneezes and coughs and all that jazz. So I'm just trying to get him a little bit more forward in the trot, and I'm not going to be big with my leg. And with him, I noticed when I first got on him, I was super pinchy forward in my leg and in my hip. So I'm trying to get out of that habit, because he kind of got me into that habit of, oh crap, when's he gonna bust in half on me? So here I'm gonna get a little bit big. Yeah, that was better. So naturally, Nico's a little bit more uphill. Kind of got a giraffe neck, just a teeny bit. Obi's a little flatter, but I've got him so uphill from the contact that he moves really nice. So the quality back there changed when I got him on the contact. He actually went through. This is nice. Good. So I've been adding a couple circles and just trying to get that inside hind leg to cross over. And I'm just closing my right hip, opening my left. That just guides him around, because you can see he's barely got any inside rein on him. That was nice. Good boy. So for him, I don't really care. And just like I said with Obi, I don't really care about the up and down in the contact. That's fine. It'll come. Good. They're only 5. Trying not to push them past their limits, but I do ask them questions. I think my back cinch is hitting my foot. Okay, so we're just going to change direction across our makeshift diagonal. So this is lovely today. Yesterday, I had a lot of work on me, and they were all kind of lazy yesterday. It was really, really nice yesterday. This morning's a little bit crisper, so they feel a little bit more energized. But yesterday was really, really warm. So is today. So here on the right side, he likes to push in with his shoulder a little bit. So I'm just lifting him up. And I'm going to blame me for that. I have a right hip problem. Probably should go see a chiropractor. Scooter has a right problem. Nico has a right problem. And Obi doesn't. Obi's great. Both directions. So when I have horses that have the same side problem, I look at myself and see where I'm going wrong.